Marsalis.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure. Such an honor to be here.
Yes, and talk with you. So I was just talk to you about Project 440 and the work that we do with young people. Our goal is we use music as a tool to help them with the rest of their lives, to help them become the best of themselves. Given all your work, what are the multiple roles you see music playing in society, particularly concerning today's young people?
You know, I think music is so many things. First, I just want to commend you for your mission and your work. And for me to see a young person doing this type of work with the type of enthusiasm that you have and the energy that you're bringing to it, it's required because there's many generations work. And, you know, there are others, of course, before us, before me, before you, who have worked to illuminate the value of music. And music is so many things, as you know. It can be a product, which is how most citizens interact with it. It's something they hear on the radio that's been created in the studio to elicit a response so they can pay for it. It backs up films. It's for ceremonies like weddings. It's for parades. Like even now, everybody still knows Stars and Stripes Forever. It can create feelings of patriotism. It goes with rituals of courtship. It is a way for you to remember things. Many times people say that if someone in their family has dementia or Alzheimer's, they'll play songs from their youth, their teen years, and they can kind of collect the stream. We learn to speak our language through the music of that language. And music is a way to channel a collective consciousness. That's why it was always used in religious ceremonies. And music is it's such a transparent art form.
Sure.
That it's ephemeral. And it carries all the things that have to do with the invisible. So thoughts, emotions, things that pass by that are very fleeting, that change with such succession. You might remember something you felt, the backside of a feeling is something you might be very elated in one moment, and in that very same moment you might suffer a deep depression.
Right.
Music is capable of all of these things, so it's singular in the arts.
Right.
So those are some of the things that music does as an art form,
Sure.
not as a discipline.
Right. Okay.
You know, as a discipline, it's something that people practice, whether you have all of teamwork, synchronicity, math, following and leading, working together, achieving a goal. And it's a non-competitive sense of achievement, which makes it, in a way, superior to a competition. Because you're not relegated to achieving a standard set by someone else. You achieve a standard of soul with another group of people.
Right.
It's the largest body of diverse people working on a single sound, a symphonic orchestra, a group of people. In a community, there's no other body like a symphonic orchestra, with that number of people working toward the goal of creating art that you can sit in a hall and experience. Of course, films and things like that take a lot of people, but a symphonic orchestra is a large family in action.
Right.
And it's also separated by function. I want to say about you and about Project 440, what I love about you is that you have a kind of unshakable optimism and a positivity that's not naive. So that's a fantastic characteristic to have, because you're not smiley face, we are the world, you know, and you're equipping young people with not just an understanding that music is an art form that travels well, but that you can use the tools that you develop through music to uplift. And let's go back to like the first people singing around campfires or something. They're singing and they start dancing and they're playing drums and they're telling tales of a hunt, or they're talking about something that happened. They're begging for rain or the harvest. Now go to people at the end of a meal or something somebody can play. Right. That person plays, they immediately gather a community. Right. Let's think about a band starts in the street, or people play in the mall, or somebody goes into a hospital, or they play. Immediately when that music starts, that community comes around. Right. Because that's the nature of music. Somebody in your family can sing. Right. People sing in church. People can dance. They start dancing with music. Right. Think about high school dances, local dances, square dances. Think of all the different dances that go on in the world. And we begin to understand the communal impact of music. Right. And when kids are equipped with the ability to play music, but the intention to use that music in a way to uplift and to elevate, because we have to always remember the same thing that enslaves can also liberate. Laws enslave, they also liberate.
Okay.
Violence enslaves,
Yeah.
it also liberates.
Yeah.
So the poetic use of music and the use of music to elevate the soul, what I call the soul quotient in the world, to raise that quotient.
Right.
Because music also has a lyricism and a graciousness. Just if you watch a person singing and someone is accompanying them on a guitar or a piano, just what they have to do to work with each other. Because music exists in time, and we are living in time.
Right.
And we're acutely aware of that time. We don't know how aware we are of it until it starts to run short.
Yeah.
Then we're very aware of it. And through our day, we deal with time. And in things we do, if we have a job, if we have something we want to do, we have a certain amount of time to do it in.
Right.
And music is a great way to be synchronized.
Yeah.
And there are so many other things, but it starts with the thing that I'm saying that you have and possess in such abundance, which is a persistent optimism and that belief that, okay, we're here, and it really comes out of the blues, because that's what the blues, it doesn't say nothing is wrong. It says something is wrong, but it's about to be right.
Right.
You know, we're going to make it right because we understand that.
In fact, this idea I saw on a Yo-Yo Ma lecture about two ecosystems. And the two ecosystems exist independently, but where they meet is the edge effect. And that is where the most diverse, most kind of exciting part of life occurs. Because everything is kind of bending, and you get the best kind of both ecosystems in this zone. You are the very much the embodiment of that. What are your thoughts on that, given your, as I said, with your accomplishments, but your intent to give back, your intent to educate?
I tend to think that it is to seek a continual balance with more and more forces that don't want to be balanced is more fun. And it is what creates a richer life and a greater sense of the world. To seek balance and to find how things are the same. They are different, but they are also the same. And when you start to find the thing that is the same, the thing that's different from you has to do less to integrate with you.
Well, that heart and soul of music itself, that is the dominant gene. That's the one that connects. That's the one that survives.
That's what you got to find.
That expression, because all of us are human beings first.
Right. But we have to, for us to develop our taste and for us to develop the type of broad vision of things where we can see how we are the same. It's difficult because we're being marketed to in segments. So first we were divided because we couldn't be around each other. Man, it took forever to travel from one place to another. Airplane, all of a sudden you can go see somebody in Japan, or you can go to China. Before you couldn't. So you could formulate these ideas. Now all of a sudden there are segments. Segment could be old people, women from age this to this, African Americans. It's all these terms. I knew when I would go on college tours in the 1990s, I would always notice the students would jump up and identify themselves as a demographic. As a black kid from this, or as a white person from the suburbs. And I'd be like, okay. And then their question would be, when did you start playing trumpet? And what does that question have to do with your demographic? You know, oftentimes the question is a human question, and the demographic is just how you have been taught to identify yourself.
And even in your own writing, in your own music, I have the privilege of playing your concerto this week, you have brought all these different aspects into this one glorious piece of music.
Because it's one expression.
Because it's one expression.
There's one expression. We just have to find it, but it's there.
That's great.
It is there, because what else are we going to do? Human beings, not that, we're not that complicated.
Artists effectively speak across time because technology, the human spirit, has not changed. Love that. It hasn't. It's what connects us to the past, musically. I mean, and we're all on that same continuum.
And it does not exist in the time that we live in.
Right.
Because it's moving faster than the speed of light.
Yes.
So it's not.
And we all are, to me, I always kind of have a visual, like we're always kind of reaching in our lives on this earth. We're always kind of reaching for that. But it's a continuum.
It is the deep thing. Okay, we're reaching, but
Yeah.
it's so deep inside of us that we have to reach this way.
Yeah.
But that's how the opposites work.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if you think about it physically, let's go to fundamentals.
Yeah.
Let's go from the outside of our bodies to the inside.
Okay.
And let's think, okay, I see somebody's face, I know it's them.
Right.
If I see their skeleton, maybe if it's something of size, I know.
Right.
If I start to see organs, I don't know who they are. Now I'm looking at blood, now I'm looking at cells.
Right.
Now I'm looking at spirit.
Right.
By the time you get to spirit, it is one.
Right.
So the diversity occurs at the more outward, the more inward you go, the less you can perceive
Yeah.
of that diversity till you get to spirit. And when I was saying that the technology of the human soul has not changed, it means you can go to the earliest part of art in this system, which is, I don't know, 2,500 years or whatever it is that we have recorded, 3,000. People are thinking about the same stuff
Right.
that they thought about. It's like people on cell phones, but what they're saying to each other, it ain't no different from what somebody wrote on the bathroom in
That's right.
in the Etruscan period. Why is so-and-so's head so big? Why did she leave me? I mean, it's all basic.
All the
We remain trapped in a relationship with our past. And those things have to be resolved in the present. They can't be resolved in the past. But for them to be resolved in the present, there has to be a concept of what that past was and a clarity about it.
Right.
And that's what I mean by when you are lost. If you remain lost long enough, nobody knows what. Ask somebody, what does the Constitution do?
Right.
Man, I know it does something, but let's not. Why are we talking about this, man? Let's talk about
Right.
reality TV.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know you was gonna get deep on me, man.
No, and honestly, and that drives a lot of the work that Project 440 does, because despite, because in my work, I will say I see that idea of being lost. Not even when seeing an opportunity, not even knowing to go for it, even if it's just across the street.
You can't do it.
How can we? And that's why we're so
Can't do it.
excited about our work, because we feel music can very much play that role. To almost as an awakening.
Well, it is. That's what music is.
Yeah.
That's why they blow the trumpets in the beginning of the Bible and they blow it at the end.
I like that. It's good.
That's what
That's
it
right.
is. The trumpet shall sound.
Right.
And that's what a song is.
Right.
The song is awakening.
Right.
That's why a baby sings. When they come out, they crying and hollering and screaming, and when you die, that's it.
Yeah.
Music is it's on a stream.
Yeah.
It's a stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Because it's so abstract, that also makes it very concrete. See, it's abstract, but it's very specific.
Right. I love the way you said it's an awakening, because we want to use that awakening to hopefully change a whole generation of young people.
But you will change them because you want to change them.
Oh, that I agree with. It's
But
not
that's
because I
why
want
you're
to.
gonna do.
Right.
You're gonna change them because you want to. Like if you wanted to sell something pornographic to them, you would do that.
Right.
But you don't want to do
Right.
that.
Right.
And many times things come simply down to what you create the world you want to create.
Yeah.
I'm making a change.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Joe, pleasure, man. Great pleasure.